I'm not going to comment on what people say. I'm gonna give you another angle, which is in front of everybody to see, but not a lot of people want to see that. So for a very long time, we've been accused of being boys, right? Arsenal, of not being able to keep a lead, getting bullied. Can you win ugly? So now that's exactly what the team is doing and actually mastering that. Along the way, did you lose what you were about from when Mikel arrived? Sometimes in the game, when you try to reach and do something, to find a way to be above Pep, above Slot, then you forget a bit what you were, which is, you know, I would say 3 years ago when everyone was like, Arsenal play really good football, but those things were coming out again, what I just stated just before. And now that you're doing it, people are not happy about it. Look, I always say, and I talk to Jamie sometimes, I don't even talk about people. I don't have to like it, even myself as an Arsenal fan, but I surely respect it. That's the most important thing. And after 22 years, again, I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, no matter how we're going to do it, I will respect that. And that is for sure.
So, but you don't like watching the team?
It's not about watching what I like. It's not about what you like. It's not about what my mom likes or my dad likes. I'm not in a dressing room. I don't know what they're about. I said it here, over there, in that chair. We asked Mikel Arteta to find a way. He did. Simple as that, whatever I like or not.
You have an opinion on whether you like the football.
I want to win the league 22 years. I want to win the league. That's the big one for me.
Does that go above everything else?
Yeah. When you didn't win it for 22 years, yes. Then we might talk about the style next year again. I'm not saying we're going to win it, understand me well. We can talk about the style, people will say the money and this and this. Look, in my time, when Mourinho arrived with Chelsea, I think Frank Lampard finished top goal scorer with 13 goals. They were very difficult to beat, outstanding on the break, like very difficult to beat. Everyone praised Mourinho, and rightly so, and Chelsea, and rightly so, because they find a way to stop the duo Man United, Arsenal. So well done. Well, you know, whether you like Chelsea or you don't like Chelsea, well done, Chelsea. So what I'm trying to say here, we asked the man, and everybody was vocal about, again, the point that I stated before about Arsenal not being able to win. We still didn't, again, but he's finding a way. And, you know, that's his way. And what's the Arsenal way? My way, George Graham? What is it? What is it?
How would you define it?
Well, if you think about how the 1-0 Arsenal came about, that's for me closer to George Graham than to what we were playing. And then how they were playing 3 years ago is closer to us and what Arsene was trying to do. You won under George Graham. You won under Arsene Wenger. So what was the issue here? One thing that I would say that, yes, it is kind of weird in a way, is that how people go about us not wanting the league, winning the league. Sorry, a lot of people are like anything but Arsenal winning the league, which I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, hang on a minute. Usually you kind of, you know, I wanted them to win the league when I was playing, because I wanted Jamie to win the league. I wanted Stevie G to win the league. You know, whether I like Liverpool or not, it's just, you know, you root normally for the underdog, for the guy or the team that couldn't do it or failed. But for some reasons, a lot of people don't want Arsenal to win the league.
Do you think that's the case, Jamie? Do you think there is sort of, not ill will, but that lack of love from everybody else, from the neutral even?
I think it's very strange, and maybe it's the same at the weekend with the Carabao Cup Final. When you have a team like, say, Manchester City, or that was maybe Manchester United in the past, who dominate an era, most neutrals want not the underdog, but the team who's sort of battling with them. You don't want to see them win again. It doesn't feel like there is that feeling with Arsenal and Manchester City. I think a lot of sort of, maybe even Manchester United fans and Liverpool fans, even though they've, you know, City's the local rival for United, and Liverpool have been fighting City for titles, are almost looking and thinking, I might rather Manchester City win it than Arsenal. There is something about Arsenal and the way they've gone about it, whether you like it or not, whether it's the style of football, whether it's Arteta on the side of the pitch, whether it's what Hertel was saying, these type of things. There is something about them. Maybe it's the fan base on social media gets a little bit of criticism that maybe rubs people up. the wrong way in terms of wanting them to go on. So it is a little bit different what Thierry's just mentioned, how the feeling is for maybe neutral supporters around Arsenal.
Maybe that fan base is so vocal on social media because it has been such a long time, because they're so desperate to taste that glory of the league title. It has been an interesting journey, hasn't it, under Mikel Arteta? As Thierry makes the point, they were looking for a guy that was going to make that difference, to get them over the line. They found someone who they knew well as a player, someone who'd been on Pep Guardiola's coaching staff at that moment, who they felt was equipped to come in and make a difference. So that's the breakdown. Jamie, what would be your observations here about this ride under Mikel Arteta?
I've enjoyed watching it. And the thing that absolutely fascinates me is how he's gone about it. Because I think it's almost different to almost any manager we've seen in terms of certainly the Premier League, maybe going back a long time, I might be wrong. But what you've got when he first comes in, it's not halfway through a season, but it's early in a season. They win the FA Cup, they win some big scalps, and it's not a great team. They finish 8th, OK, but it's not his team. The next season, they don't get the transfer strategy right. It's almost they're buying players, older players from Chelsea, really. Doesn't work out. And that's where I think the club really show him support and sort of stick with him.
Let's start with Arsenal. We brought you the team news for this one. Clinton, I know you're watching another game. Are you happy to chip in? Can you multitask, or what do you think?
100%. You know I can. I've been doing this for many years.
OK. Well.
Learned from maestro, so I'll be all right.
OK, all right. Is an Arsenal win a formality tonight, Clinton?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll be too strong. I think, you know what? Leverkusen did cause them problems. Do I think it was a penalty? I don't think it's a penalty. But at 1-0, they would have had something to hold on. But I still think Arsenal would have gone through. I think they're in good form. You look at their bench, they've got players that can come off the bench. I know they're missing Timber, but it's an opportunity now for Ben White to come in. And you know Ben White, he's a good replacement for Timber. So, yeah, I think Arsenal win it comfortably, to be fair, especially the form they're in at the moment. Everyone says, oh, they got the handbrake on. Who cares if they've got the handbrake on? They're winning football matches. Winning football matches, everyone will tell you along here, breeds confidence. And they're a confident team at the moment. So, yeah, I, for one, think Arsenal, yeah, will go through.
Interesting listening to Thierry Henry on the Monday Night Football last night, Merce, when he was talking about the way they play this season. He said he doesn't have to like the way they play, but he sure respects it, is the way he put it. Is it now, tonight and for the last couple of months, just all about substance? Does style come into it at all for Arsenal?
I don't think it comes in any time during the season. It's 38 games. You're there to win the league. It's grueling. It's hard, you know. And when you pick up your trophy at the end of the season, your medal, it says winner at the bottom. It doesn't say entertainers or we were great here and there. You know, it doesn't matter how you do it. You've got to get across the line. You know, you get all these entertaining teams, but they lose too many games. These entertaining teams. You know, no, I don't see how people knock Arsenal. I think it's pretty scary, really, how people knock them, and they've been by far the best team in the country.
And Tim, they keep finding a way. They found a way to get something in Germany a week ago, and they found a way to get past Everton at the weekend as well. Were they a bit fortunate, given the chances Everton had in that game?
Yeah, but you need to be at times, like Merce said. I mean, there's not pictures on that trophy, you know, it just says one thing and it says champions. Yeah, they got away with it, but I think you need to at times, you know. It is edgy for them, and rightly so, because they're the team who are at the top and to be shot at. This is the one, wasn't it? Not so much the shot. When Ndiaye comes back out to him, I thought he would have sorted his feet out better there, but he couldn't manage to do it. But they just stuck in. Look how they put their bodies on their line, though. The goalkeeper's there for a reason, to make saves. And he's doing his job at the moment. Yes, but they just get their head on things. They're happy to defend. They realise that they might have to suffer in games. And even if teams who come to the Emirates and expect to win, Arsenal expect to win, and the fans get a little bit edgy, I think they've shown that they can dig in. They can defend their box, and they're quite happy doing it. And then they can play a different way. This team can beat you any way up. You know, if you want to play football against Arsenal, they'll beat you. If you want to have a fight against them, they'll beat you up. You know, I think they can do everything, and set pieces is crucial to them. You know, it's a small detail what the manager's identified to be a game changer. When there's a stalemate, can we find a goal? No. Can we find it from a set piece? Yes. They're getting the job done. You can't knock them.
It's quite interesting because when I was speaking to Declan about it, and when he first went there and the way they played, and they were quite entertaining, open and everything else, and he couldn't quite get over the line. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, they're taking it a different way. They're taking a different route. They're using the set pieces. They are aggressors, as Tim. They're finding a way. They've just been relentless, and it's great. And now they've got a squad which can match Man City's. And Man City are in that sort of transition stage, if you like, of rebuilding theirs. This is a perfect opportunity for now them young lads to step up, win it, get a winner's medal, get champions, get used to being in them finals, and then go on and then try and win it again and do that. And I think that's what you're seeing now with them. They've been relentless.
And the youngest of those young lads that they can now look to come on and provide a spark, Max Dowman, as we saw at the weekend, the youngest ever Premier League scorer, involved in the first goal as well. There is already talk and calls for Thomas Tuchel after this to pick him for England. He's got a squad coming out on Friday. For you, should he be in it?
Got exams, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's May.
Yeah. You know what, Theo Walcott went, and no disrespect to Theo, Theo's not in the same league, in my opinion, as what they were at the same age. Who knows? The only thing is there's so many absolute gifted players in that position. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think it'll be in many years to come. I think this one will just be too soon for him, in my opinion.
Can you imagine how that felt? I mean, at 16 years of age, I mean, at any age, you know, for the manager to trust you and say, you know what, Max, get warmed up. We've got Jesus on the bench. We need a goal. It's a 0-0, but I want you to come on and change the game. He must have walked on there and felt like he was 7 foot tall. He puts the cross in, makes a goal, but he weren't happy with that. He gets the opportunity. Pickford comes up. The way he goes past people as if they're not there. And then he changes his pace. Gabriel does brilliant, just cuts across the defender for him just to make sure he can't get back. But you could imagine his family in the box up there or sitting up there. When he breaks away, Jules, and he's on the halfway line, he's running into an empty net. They must have, forget about goosebumps. I mean, it must be incredible for that kid and for his family and for all of the bench. You saw the reaction from the bench and all of them supporters there. It's an incredible moment for Arsenal Football Club.
I sort of remember being sat here last season and there was a lot of fuss being made about Ethan Nwaneri, Clinton.
Yeah.
Being the next big thing. Yep. He's now out on loan to get game time. Is it going to be different with Max Dowman? Does it need to be different with him? Does he need to play more?
Yeah, he does need to play more. But listen, he's still at a young age like that. As Tim just said there, they're trusting him. He's a big player. I know you talk about Ranieri, Lewis Skelly as well. Now they're sitting on the bench. Just got to manage him. As Mert said, he got exams coming up in May. So listen, he'll probably go back to school with the player of the. Well, he might not be. He might go to school when he's ready to go to school, because it looks like most of the time he's training with the first team as well. But I think he's a sensational talent. I agree with Mert, and I heard Tim say it the other day as well. World Cup's too soon for him. There's a lot of good players in that position. You'll just be taking him to make up the numbers, not being disrespectful.
Well, yeah, who's he getting ahead of?
Well, this is what I'm saying. You've got Cole Palmer, even Phil Foden might not go. You've got Morgan Rogers, you've got Bellingham, you've got Gordon, you've got Rashford, Gibbs White, you've got Eze, you've got players, and not everyone can go there. Not everyone can get in there, so it's going to be difficult. He'll be capped by England for many years. He'll be a superstar, and Tim mentioned it. You've got to have good people around you. I've heard it that many a times, because he'll have the bright lights now. Everyone will talk about him, and there'll be games where he come on and he doesn't perform. I just hope people don't build him up too big, and then when he has a few bad games, you want to knock him down. But I think there's good people at Arsenal, and he comes from a good background. He won't let him get too big. But for England, nah, I think it's too soon. Walcott went at 17. I don't think he kicked a ball. So, not worth taking. It would be good for experience to put. Listen, his squad comes out at the end. I understand you put him in the squad, he comes and trains with you or something like that. I totally get it. But to go to make the World Cup squad, no, not yet.
Go to Iron Appa.
Yeah, that's what.
GCSEs, Iron Appa, then. Yeah.
Well, he needs to live a little bit. That's a good shout. He needs to live a little bit.
Maybe a bit too early for that as well,